All right. Good day, everyone. So, a somewhat historic event happened last week, 13 years in the making. We had the pre orders for Grand Theft Auto 6. Unbelievable event, maybe even internet breaking. But let's go through it a little bit in today's video. I thought this was the perfect synergy to start us off on this channel. Um, the pre-order of Grand Theft Auto 6, and we're going to look at the actual company. Take-Two Interactive is the parent company to Rockstar Games. So we're going to go and have a look at the actual stock itself and kind of talk about how it's performing and why it's performing and whatever. But let's start with the actual game, the meat and potatoes of what's going on here. Grand Theft Auto 6. All right, let's go through it. So, standard edition. Now, one of the biggest backlashes was the no physical copy of the disc yet. Now, there's been a bunch of theories. It's coming, it's not coming. You know, they're going to drive all digital. Who knows? It says right here, code inbox or digital. The ultimate is just digital. So we're going to see in the future how that plays out. I think overall the gaming industry is going to more of a digital vibe out there, digital atmosphere. And even if you look at games like Gran Turismo Auto or Gran Turismo 7, you'll see that it's, even though you can buy a physical copy, and I have a physical copy, I also bought a digital copy, you cannot play the physical copy of the game without an internet connection. So that means, if you disconnect from, if you just want to have it as a standalone out in the cabin or something, you can't play that game. If PlayStation Store is down, if you're on PlayStation, if PSN network is down, you can't play the game. All of these things. If Gran Turismo servers are down for online, you can't play the single player standalone game, which is an absolute travesty for me as an older gamer. That was something that I really liked, being able to be offline and play it, because digital services, they go down. Most of these games have 99.9% uptime, sure, but there are cases where it goes down and people still want to play. So let's have a look here. So with the standard edition, we're getting just the base game, so Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6, and then we're getting 2 packs, which is awesome, pre-order packs. So the base game, and then we go down here and we'll select, and what do we get? We get, some clothing, access to some cars, maybe a car, that kind of stuff, right? It's pretty standard. I'm sure everybody has seen these photos and stuff now. It's just striking. Some of this artistry is just amazing. These guys do great work. So this one's called the Vice City Vintage Pack. And then you also get 1 month free of GTA Plus membership. Now, there's all kinds of theories going on behind this GTA Plus stuff, that it's going to be a paid service game, the online version. That, again, is yet to be seen. But here is the troubling thing. So we get, with the standard edition, we get the game, a couple outfits, maybe a car, and then a free month. If you want to spend the extra money, so I'm up in Canada, and this standard is $109. This is $140 for the ultimate. So I believe in US prices it's $80, and then the standard is $80, and then the ultimate is going to be $100. Let's see what's in the ultimate. So obviously already we see a slider bar here. This is much different, the stuff that you get, right? So obviously you get the game, you get the Vice City Vintage Pack, and you get the free month. But look at after this. Now, a car, totally fine. I can get behind that. Revolver, maybe it's just even skins. Maybe you can get the gun, but you can't get certain skins. I'm totally fine with all that cosmetic kind of stuff. Weapon variants, totally awesome. Just the details here, Lucia, love it. More clothes in the pack. This stuff is all awesome. Like, this is what I like to see in ultimate editions or, upgraded versions of games. This is awesome. So vehicles at the safe house. So, you'd still be able to get this safe house in the game, but now you'll have access to kind of more vehicles, right? There's 3 vehicles right here. the bike, the car, and then the canoe or the kayak. Love it. Love it. So this stuff is all awesome. When you're at the safe house, having vehicles to leave when you're playing the game, it's a step up. It's not huge though. It's not make or break the game, right? This is awesome. Yeah, more stuff. Now this is the part that kind of is alarming in some ways, right? Now, who knows how this all plays out? Usually, ultimate packs give you a leg up. They don't let you play a totally different game, if that makes sense. They're usually just helpful kind of things. So this is a little bit different, though. This is a mod shop that you can only have access to, seemingly. Now, we haven't played the game yet, but seemingly you can only have access to it if you have the Ultimate Edition. So for a car lover like me, I mean, they're almost forcing you to go that way. Now, here's what I'll say. The standalone game, the single-player game, is only a small fraction of what the actual online experience is going to be. So maybe this is, shut down in the single player, but in online you'll be able to access it. That could very well be too. Let's see what else. Hair salon. So maybe you can only access a few hairstyles locked behind the Ultimate Edition, but maybe it's the whole salon too, right? It's really, the ambiguity of it really lends to Rockstar's whole motive here, right? They want you to be unsure of what's going to be locked and what's not to you. They want to install a fear of missing out within you. And that's all part of marketing whenever, and Rockstar is a master at marketing for sure. So a boat locked behind it, maybe you get this free, maybe you could just have the ability to purchase it. But it's these businesses like clothing store. You would assume the clothing stores are going to be open to everybody, but maybe there's some funky ones that just aren't, that allow you to, do certain upgrades or creative mods to your character that otherwise would be locked, right? Again, this buggy you get access to. Now, just the amount of sheer businesses. I'm not much on tattoos, but more mod shops, right? Like this is even the illegal goods store, right? Like why is all this stuff locked behind there? And of course, car guy, I'm a car collector in these games. So this is right up my alley. And so I did go ahead and I bought the Ultimate because of what Rockstar did, right? They made it so uncertain about what's locked and what's not that you just kind of have to. So I am also a lover of the whole franchise here. I've been playing it for many decades. And so, the standard is what I would typically buy. In this case, I did go Ultimate. I mean, hey, it's GTA 6. Now, having said all that, let's go over and have a look at what the chart of Take-Two Interactive actually looks like after this pre-order happened. So here we are. We're at Take-Two Interactive Software. So like I said, this is the company that actually owns Rockstar Games, the gaming studio. Okay, they have a lot of different IPs and stuff like that. Rockstar is one of them. And for sure, obviously the biggest one. So what we can see here is, let's just zoom in. This is the daily chart. So each one of these candles here is 1 day of trading. So let's see what last week looked like. Okay, so in here, it was June 18th. Okay, so, this was going down a little bit in June, early June. And then we have some increase in price buying. So down here, we have volume numbers. Okay, so these big sticks here means there's lots and lots of volume. So play this out. Everything's going, they're kind of going up, down, whatever, the last few months. All of a sudden, somebody in here gets the word that, hey, pre-sales are going to start going, are going to get offered here. So what do people do? They buy all this up. And this is a big wick here, and that indicates selling pressure, right? So people that kind of got in down here a little bit, took a little bit of cash off the table, but then a lot of buyers came in here on the 18th. Okay, they bought it up, and then what happens is the tweet came out saying, hey, we are going to offer pre-sales on the 25th. Okay, and 25th is right here. So on this candle. So what happens is a lot of big investors, we're talking banks and hedge funds and stuff, they went in here and bought some up, and especially on this kick, they bought it up. And then the news comes out This is a classic, I guess, air quotes, classic buy the rumor here, and then sell the news when it actually drops. So a lot of people thought, oh, this stock went down afterward. Where is it? So the 24th, the day before, everybody just sell, right? And why is that? It's because a lot of people thought, I saw these theories online, that it was because people were disappointed with the pricing of the game. They thought, oh, it was going to be a $100 game. Then it came in at $80 US. And a lot of the investors, people thought, a lot of the investors didn't like that fact. They thought, oh, they're leaving a lot of money on the table. They could have charged a lot more. But I don't see that as the case, because institutional investors aren't gamers. They don't care about what the gameplay is like, or, the price points of a lot of this stuff. Now, they do care about price points of the game for sure, but that's not what led to this sell-off here. What led to this sell-off was exactly what I said. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And then the actual day itself that you could pre-order, you just got this little wee pop, right? Retail investors and stuff coming in saying, oh geez, this is going to be great, this, let's buy this so we can make a lot of money. Well, the people that you're buying it from, they're selling into you as the retail crowd. So that's why it just went down and down and down. Now, when you play this out, this was the 25th, the day that it actually became pre-ordered. People, bumped up because it's in the headlines. It's hitting people's X feeds and their YouTube feed and Instagram and stuff like that. The data is hitting. So then retail investors that are just sitting there going, oh, geez, what should I buy on the stock market? They go in and they buy, and they're just getting sold into, right? The next day, the Friday, it was just kind of the same thing. Retail investors are coming in buying, which is this wick, but all of these shares that got accumulated here are all getting sold into, okay? Now, this wick means that, hey, there was more people buying than were selling down here. But overall, you're getting a sell into this news. And if you look at the volume numbers here, that is exactly what you're seeing, right? So today on the Monday here, we're having a bit of a pop. Now, these are two trend lines that I put in, okay? So this is just kind of not a flag pattern, but it's a topping pattern coming in here, right? So we hit an all-time high up here of 265. When we regress, people selling, then we pop back up, which now enables us to make this trend line here, having this data point, then boom, it just sells down, right? So into 2026. It really started to go down. Now, that's because this big sell down is because of the AI, push that came in around here, and the Claude code really started to amp up. So people thought, geez, video games and all this stuff, and all, Hollywood, it's all going to go by the wayside. So a lot of people were selling down into this, right? Savvier investors are picking it up right here on this trend line. We have a hit here on this trend line. This is what's called a gap fill. So that these are going to be tested again. We could even go in here and take this trend line to this trend line and kind of go right over like that, right? So these wicks are piercing, these wicks are all pierced. So this whole area here is where you would expect a bounce. So it came down, hit. We use these trend lines to go, okay, another one is going to hit. It used that as support to launch up and come back. Now, the same works for this top line here, okay? This trend line right here, you're going to notice, has been hit now 1, 2, didn't quite make it here, 3, almost 4, and now 5 hits, okay? 5 hits on this upper. Typically what I would say is when you have a descending trend line and it keeps getting hit and hit, you would expect this to kind of roll over. Now you look at these wicks in here, you see there's a lot of people trying to buy, but more sellers coming in, and more sellers and more sellers and more sellers. Now, here's what I will say. Typically this pattern rolls to the downside once it hits this resistance line. However, in this case, we have now hit this thing, like I say, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that we've hit this. Now, the more times you keep punching a ceiling, punching, you will eventually punch through that ceiling. You will break that ceiling and you will go straight up. Not straight up, but you will go up from it. Then if it comes back down, then you use this as support. So this thing might sink down to, I would say, probably about here. And the reason I say that is because, look, there's, even if you extend it back this way, there is support along this line. Even this guy hits it and retraces, right? It bounced, hit this line, come back down. You have a hit, 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 and then boom, it blows through. Okay. And then, of course, it regresses back down. Absolutely. So what I can see happening here is I can see it hitting. Okay, I can see it hitting. I can see it hitting. I can see it hitting. And then maybe coming down for a regression. Because again, this is a gap fill. So a lot of times the price will come down to fill this gap in here. So whether it just comes down to 229 or whether it comes all the way down to 225, I mean, it's going to be somewhere around here. And then I think it breaks through this because GTA 6 is too big of a game. It's too well known. It's too highly regarded to fail, I guess. And it's the biggest IPO that's going to, or the biggest release that's going to come out in the video game world for months and months and maybe even years. It's going to be the biggest thing ever so far to hit the game. So I do see this breaking up, and we're already at all-time highs, obviously. Or we've already been pushing into all-time highs. So I could see this keep going, keep going, keep going. Like the earnings, it's already, even, what has it been, 4 days after the initial offering of this on the 25th here. So 1, 2, only 3 trading days, 4 or 5 on the weekend. But it's already produced, I think it was $3.5 billion in revenue on pre-orders alone. So they're already making money. I think they postulated that it was a $2 billion game to make. So they're already up $1.5 billion. It is remarkable. But this is what I wanted to show you guys between the pre-order and the actual company chart, stock chart. There is similarities, and one speaks to another, right? I think we saw how that enhanced version or the ultimate version really helped push sales, but it also affected the news around the company. And some people thought it sold off in here because of that news, or this candle, sorry, because of that news. I see it a little bit differently. I think it was a buy the rumor, sell the news. Money got in and got out, made some cash, and they'll take it on to other trades now. So I do continue to see this. It may kind of wave around, but this, to me, this is a bull flag pattern. I don't know if anybody out there knows charting patterns, but this is one big bull flag to me. Okay, so not investment advice, but this would be a stock I would look at getting into. I always like to press the limits. I wouldn't be pulling the trigger up here at 246. I would probably look to get in around here, 230, whatever. If I do it, I may do it, I may not. But I did want to kind of show you guys the similarities and how a game can actually bleed over into the real world here. So hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. More videos here on the Games and Gains channel. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good day.